Hello, my name is Nathan and welcome to Dwarf Fortress. Today I'm going to be doing a above ground fortress. It's going to be kind of like a casual playthrough, little guide. That way if you're new to Dwarf Fortress, you can kind of follow along and see what I do. It's also casual just because I'm not going to start off with any combat or any like hostility. We'll enable that once we kind of get there, but for this kind of guide, we don't need it, at least right away. One of the first things I do want to show off in the settings and under game, I'm going to have it kind of a strict population cap. That way when we have migrants come over, we're only going to do 20. This is going to be kind of a smaller compound, and then we'll just kind of make it bigger once we need to. So just kind of have it restricted right here. I don't understand all these options, but I know if I set it here, then it looks like we're about 4 babies or children. But anyway, let's go to New World. I'm going to have everything kind of default here. I do want a sparse mineral occurrence. Feel free to, change it how you like there. I kind of like role-playing a little bit because it's easy to gain wealth in this game. And you'll see once we kind of get through it, what I like to do with my fortress. So mods, I am going to have mods installed. Also right below me is DF hack. It's not needed. I'm not going to really use it. I might make some guides or something if you're interested in it, but it's not needed by any means. But it's an easy install. Once you install it on Steam, you'll start Dwarf Fortress and it'll be automatically active, at least as far as I remember. I am going to install these mods here, the green ones. So we have Audible Alerts. That way when we have an alert, it's audible. Self-explanatory. See-through smoothing designations. Some of the stuff I'm not sure if it's needed, but when you're smoothing tiles, you can't see what's really underneath, so that makes it so see-through. No aquifers. I just like to make it so that it doesn't generate. Makes it really easy. Specific decoration is something I do enjoy with the role-playing side of things. It lets you decorate certain objects more specific. We'll see once we get there. Interface tweaks, looks like it has hotkeys and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier. This cave spider syndrome, essentially it's an affliction that dwarfs get when they go underground and a cave spider bites them. They have it forever. This makes it so it doesn't happen. Perspective walls, that way it makes the walls a little bit more 3D. I like the look of it. Reduce sea fog, pretty self-explanatory. And then horned cave beetles. Now, something if you're a person who's been on this channel, the duo design, watch me play, I love beetles. I think they're awesome. They're some of my favorite creatures. Like in Digimon, Tentomon is my favorite. Same thing with Pokemon, Heracross, things like that. They're so cool. So, of course, we got to have that in here. And then what we want to make sure, of course, is these are in the right order. The only one that really matters is perspective walls. So we'll just move up. If you're curious about any of the mods, I'll have it in my description of the video. There we go. It's white. All right, let's create the world. I think we're good. Yeah. Now, I'm no expert at this game by any means, but I understand enough to get the ball rolling. So if anybody sees anything that I'm doing wrong or whatever, feel free, leave a comment. Always down to learn some new tips or tricks or correct some misinformation. So please do. I'm not trying to misinform anybody. But I think this game can be pretty intimidating for folks, even if they're accustomed to these type of games like RimWorld. Rise to Ruin, I think, is one of them. I mean, there's a lot. There's so many. But this one's so specific. Not really a lot of other games like it. Okay. So we'll just click play now. And of course, if anybody is watching along and wants me to explain anything or has any questions, feel free. I'm always paying attention and I'd love to help you out. All right, so let's do Fortress mode. It's my favorite mode. I am looking forward to adventure mode, getting more fleshed out. All right, so we're gonna skip the tutorial. We don't need it. All right, so here is our world. The drenched seas. I would say so. Okay, so I like finding an embark. Savagery, we could just do calm. What else do I like? I do like the Fluxstone layer. Aquifers don't matter. I do like rivers. We'll do at least some soil, and then we'll do some iron. Rest of this stuff, kind of bonus. Whatever you feel like. We'll do a little bit of search here. I like starting off a river because I do want to try to create a moat for our little settlement. I think it'd be pretty sweet. I'm not used to actually doing something like that, so it'll be a learning experience for me too. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I like being about in the middle here. Don't like it too cold. Again, this is a casual playthrough. All right. What do we got around here? Elves, humans, goblins. They're hostile, which would be kind of nice. 2 days travel. Humans are pretty close. It might be good to... What is this? Mysterious layer. Scar contempt. Okay. Let's see. Embark. Pretty flat for the most part, I'd say, around here. This is actually pretty complicated. What is this, though? Stream, right? That's what we want. Brooks aren't very deep. I do like the streams because you get a little bit more wildlife. And it's a depth thing. You can cross over brooks. You don't need to swim. Okay. Embark. We'll leave it as the 4x4. It is warm here, so maybe we'll go back. Let's see. That's the same place? Yeah. A little warm there. A lot of desert. Let's see. What's over here? Humans and goblins. I do like trading with everybody. Got a little bit more here. Let's see something. I don't really mind that it's warmer. Not a big deal. Let's just do it. All right. So what do we got? Little soil, clay, some soil. Iron, silver, copper, fluxstone layer, little soil. What's this stream called? The Silvery Jack. Thanks. Well, let's just go there. Prepare for the journey carefully. Let's do that. Now, what you can do, which some people like to do, I don't really care too much. We might care a little bit, but for an example, just a little quick look over here. So it's saying that he's strong. What else do we got? Poor empathy. Disdains commerce. Disdains family. Good spatial sense. He might be a good warrior, you know. Same thing with this guy. Creative, strong, proud. Disdains fairness. So you kind of want to look at these. So weak, probably not the best. Fearful, definitely not good for military. Low stamina, things like that. It's not super important. You know, it's not Pokemon. We're not looking at EVs, IVs, all that stuff. But if you just want to like start off strong, maybe look at them. But anyway, so let's actually do that. So we'll convert good, spatial, strong, temperate, disdains, creative, strong, proud. I think this person might be a good warrior type. Let's see what else. Oh, it's a she. Cole Lance Puzzled is her name. What's like her want? Let's see. So it's personality, values. She dreams of mastering a skill. Most of them do, I think, have some kind of thing like that. So let's make her into a combat dwarf. Now, I personally like axes. So that's what we're going to be doing. Is making her into an axe dwarf. It does matter. Axe, sword, mace, hammer, spear. It does matter in combat what they're capable of doing. From my understanding, mace dwarves may be the weakest type because all they can do is bludgeon, and they're not very good at finishing off whoever they're fighting because they can't like cut anything. They can like bruise things and try to smash stuff, but it's a little bit harder. While like a sword, pretty sure can poke and slice. So Something to keep in mind, but again, not too important. Just have fun with it. So let's do a couple skills in Axe Dwarf. I also like to put a little bit in dodging. Same thing with like, not really sure what fighter is, but why not? Just to kind of give them a little bit better edge in combat. I also kind of want this person to be able to teach other dwarves just in case we don't get somebody. So maybe like a leader and what else? I think it's like a teacher. And then we can kind of leave it there. We can always make them do other stuff and their skills will go up, but at least we have kind of like a leader person. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to rename this person just so I remember. We'll say Axe Dwarf Fighter. I don't know. Sounds good to me. We're not going to get too picky here. All right. So these other guys, I'm not going to care too much. They are strong, so maybe we'll make this person our miner. And then when they're not, so this is going to be above ground. They're not going to be mining too much, at least in the beginning, probably for most of the beginning. So we don't need this up super high. They'll gain enough skill. I'll probably have them doing other stuff in the meantime, maybe like some stone crafting. And maybe a little bit of stone cutting and maybe a little bit of engraving. We don't need to get too fancy. Okay, so we have our miner. I do like having a couple miners. It does make it go faster here. So we'll do that. And then we'll have this person as like a carpenter. Because we're going to be using a lot of wood in the beginning. A lot of wood. Actually, maybe not carpenting. We'll make the woodcutter the carpenter. Maybe woodcrafter. And then we'll do a planter. Nothing too fancy, like I'm saying. Let's see if I do like having a hunter. Let's see what we got here. Resists sickness. Values perseverance. Disdains craft work. All right. Sounds like this person would be a good ranger. So with that in mind, what we want to do, Mark Storff a little bit. Dodger's always kind of nice. Maybe not that much. And then we want, I think it's crucial, ambusher. That way they can sneak up on people. There it is. Do that. Maybe one more in ambusher and one more in Marksdorf. There we go. Cool. All right, so we got our hunter. Let's go to here again. So we want our axe woodcutter. We can have a carpenter. I mean, they're going to be just doing this a lot. So let me see something here. Boy. She dreams of creating a work of art. So maybe we get her like a little bit of a... I know we have a woodcrafter already. What else can we do? Work of art, huh? Well, stonecrafter, I guess. Trying to remember, stone carver, stone cutter. One's like engraving into walls and stuff, and the other one is actually creating like stones, essentially blocks. Maybe stonecrafter. Let's do that. Okay, so let's get our as long as they're not resist sickness, overconfident, quick live. Okay, we want someone who's cooking and stuff like that. Let's do our brewer. I actually might do them as a planter too. I do want to give some skills into I cannot say this word, but basically be able to diagnose things. That way if someone does get hurt, we don't have anybody fighting or anything, or at least in the beginning, so we don't have to worry about animals pestering us. But it'd be nice just to have someone just in case. That way they can diagnose any problems. So we got our brewer, right? And they plant. So let's do our butcher and a cooker. Can even do a little bit of bone carving. Now where's is it labor? Cook. There we go. Now with that said, I think we're pretty much good to go here. Everything else can be learned. I'm not too worried about it. What is this guy? Is this the miner? Yeah. Wow, he uses that a lot. Okay, we'll do a little bit of planting, but we'll do also fishing, just in case. Fish cleaner, fish. Fisher dwarf. There we go. Okay. There we go. I think we're pretty much good to go there. Not going to worry about that too much. Now with the items, I do like having an anvil. It is a lot of points. Normally, when you first trade with the dwarves, they usually have an anvil, and it's not too bad to get. That way, if you want more points, but for me, I like it. I like having it. So with beer and wine, that's interesting that we don't have the 3 kind. Where's drink? We can get different kinds. I don't think it matters too much. Let's get some rum. Now, one thing you can be kind of optimal about, and again, this might be misinformation, but essentially every time you get some beer, wine, they have to be in barrels, right? Well, if you go over like a certain threshold, so for an example, over 20, so 21, they'll get an extra barrel, which is worth more in the long run than these 2 points are. So you get more barrels to use because they're reusable. I don't care that much. The game's not too hard if you're starting off easy. So we'll just kind of be frugal. Lots of different kinds of beer. That's what they like. They like it more than water. Now, same thing goes with meat for food. So every time we get something new, unless they fix this, so as you can see, we have all these different kinds of foods. They come in their own barrel each. So you can get like lots of different kinds of stuff. So worm meat, prepared green tree frog, prepared porcupine lung. You can just keep getting these. And food lasts long. They drink more than they eat. So just something to kind of keep in mind. Again, not super important. This is going to be pretty straightforward. Looks like we start off with pond turtles to eat. Kind of interesting. One thing, let's see. Like for an example, splints, crutches, you can make that with wood pretty easily. I would only want to bring these if we were going somewhere where there weren't any trees, but where we're going to be, there's going to be a lot. So I like to minus these. Same thing goes with the wheelbarrow and step ladder. I like just to have them so I don't need to remember to make them. Same thing with the bucket. It is what it is. We'll kind of start off with this stuff. Let me see about... Most of this other stuff I'm not too worried about. So let's go to the animals. What I like to do, so as you can see all these horned cave beetles, you can actually train them to be hunters or war beetles, hunting war. It's kind of neat. But I do like to just have dogs. So what we're going to do then is probably have one hunting dog. And then we'll have 2 females. I don't usually get too many dogs. I don't like having them. So we'll probably have like 1 litter each and then call it good. Same thing with the cats. I just get 2 female cats because you can have a cat explosion if you're not neutering the male cats. Now, as far as animals go, I think just having turkeys is good enough. The turkey hen and gobbler. The reason being is they lay eggs, lay a lot of eggs, I think, and they also can be butchered for meat and mainly leather. Chickens don't give you leather, and some of these other birds probably don't either, but I know turkeys do, so pretty good value. Same thing with like llamas and stuff. Llamas are good for wool and also milk. Looks like we actually have enough, so maybe I'll start with those. There we go. Nice little thing here we have. I'd say we don't really need more than that. So we'll go back here. I do like to get some spider cloth. So the main reason, there's some other stuff we can probably get with the spider silk. It's because there's a chance of our dwarves getting into a strange mood or something like that, getting possessed. And they require certain materials in their workshop. And if they don't get it, they go mad and they go nuts. They can start fighting. They can get depressed. A lot of different things. And there's no way to snap them out of it. You basically have to wait till they die. So if you have something like this available, you don't need to go into the caves and search for it. I also like to give us more seeds. These are basically all the underground stuff we can even have. So we got that. I'm not really sure what else we need. Got bags. Maybe we'll just get some more bags. Bend these points. There we go. Okay, this is pretty good. We shouldn't be hurting at all. So the last thing I like to do, we'll do a little bit of like role playing. This is kind of how I get into the fortress, is by doing these like randomized names here. So this is going to be the name of the settlement. So let's see here. I don't know if I want that one. The Flame. Okay. Tick-told the Flame? Let's see. Stink-told. I don't think so. Glow? I kind of like that. Glow Splatter. I don't know about that one. Glow Run. Glow Dungeon the Flame. You know, if we were building underground, maybe. Glow Glow. Glow Warmth. Glow Moisten, huh? Moisten. Glow Gurgle again. Glow Misty. Weevil. Gotta be something. Might just look through the list. Glow Ape. Nice. Glow Kingdoms the Flame. I think we're just gonna keep it there. Glow Kingdoms the Flame. Robosaur Keshan. All right. So a group name is, I guess, the group of our dwarves that have migrated here and found. What is the name of it? Glow Kingdoms the Flame. All right. So this one, the Mountain of... I kind of like the mountain already. Mountain of... Inched. Tumble, Abbey, Pillar, Marked. The Mountain of Melted. There we go. Perfect. All right, group symbol. So this is like the symbol of the Pillar of Messiahs, which... Hold on a sec. Might be like... Oh, I forgot to see what dwarf play or what kingdom we were from, but that's okay. That might be what this is, the Pillar of Messiahs. So let's do objects. Was there like pillar? No? No pillar? Column or something? No. All right. I got a lot of things, but not what I want. I almost feel like these are like, hold on a sec. Blazing sun. Yeah, interesting. They have so many different items. I think all these weird names are the random generated instruments. Do we have like a gem or something? Make it nice and simple. Gauntlet. Gen? Not quite. Jewel, maybe? No. Logs. Trousers. Perfect. A sock. I don't think so. I'm actually surprised they don't have like gem or something. Cut gems. I see. There we go. Blazing sun and a large gem. That way we kind of keep with that fiery element. Of course, the Exalted Construct is the name. It's the name of this image here, the symbol. So we'll just kind of keep it there. Again, a little reminder. Glow Kingdoms the Flame come from the Mountain of Melted. So we're kind of keeping with the fire theme a little bit. All right, so let's save it just in case this goes belly up for some reason. So we'll do like above ground recording. Bam! Save it. There we go. Let's embark. We should be good to go. Yes. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Rabasor Keshan. Glow Kingdoms the Flame. All right, so let's take a look. We're going to pause it, of course. Take a look what we're facing here. So we got like a little hillside. Nice. Not sure if it's raining or anything. Okay. Got our little stream here. Okay, pretty straightforward. This is kind of what I was hoping for. So now we got to figure out where we're building at. What I'm thinking, if it's something like a... So we're going to do a little settlement, and it's going to have a moat around it. And I think something like right here in this area might be good. Or even building within this area right here. That way we're kind of close to the hillside if we want to go underground. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, there's kangaroos. Interesting. What else do we have here? Long-nosed gar, alligators, weasels, alligator snapping turtle. Well, it's a good thing we turned those guys off. Hopefully they won't attack us. Let's do a manual save. Let's do this. We'll say recording 1. The beginning. Because if this is set to hostile, they basically, sometimes the alligators or the dwarves will go and try to fish, and the alligators are fishing the dwarves, pulling them under. So let's do one thing before I forget. Let's go to our labor, fisher dwarves. We'll turn that off. He will not be fishing, even though as weird as that was turned on for him, even though Cog here is the fisher dwarf. So we'll turn that off. Okay, I think we should be good to go here. Now again, I have DF hacks, so some of this might look a little different, but I'm not going to try to use it. The same concept should apply. So one thing is, I like to go to the labor in the kitchen. I want to make sure we do not use these alcohols to cook with. I want them to exclusively drink it. Same thing with the plump helmets. I exclusively want them to use it to make alcohol, to be brewed. There's a very limit of what can be brewed, so I want to keep it there. We don't want to cook with it, but everything else is good to cook with, so that should be easy peasy there. All right, so we're starting above ground, and like I said, I like to role play. You don't have to, but I'm gonna get kind of specific the way I like it. Makes the fortress look a little pretty, and actually, this actually might be a good area right in front of the caravan, whatever you want to call it. Wagon. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking we're going to be using these birch trees to start off with. Okay, so let's start a stockpile. And I want this stockpile kind of close to where I'm going to be building at. So let's just do it right here. And also away from the trees I'll be using. Maybe we'll start kind of right here. That actually looks good. So let's do stockpile here. And this doesn't matter too much to name them, but birch, stock. And then I do want to go to... We're just going to make it birch. All right. Now I'm going to tell my dwarves to start cutting stuff down. We're only going to do birch for now. Kind of get this stuff out of the way. We'll have a healthy amount. Yeah, that's going to be plenty of wood to start off with. Plenty. All right, so let's start that. Get that going here. Like I said, hopefully with the enemies turned off, they're not going to be trying to fight me. But, you know, it's Dwarf Fortress. That's part of the fun. All right, so we already got some logs. What I'd like to do, get some carpentry going on here. What am I looking for? Carpentry. Of course, that stuff is in the way. No, we're going to do that. I got it. What do we got out of the birch? Oh, chestnut logs. Oh, I didn't realize some of these are chestnuts. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. We do want to get it out of the way. I kind of want to clear this area anyway. And then we'll kind of build maybe down, kind of build up here and then start building this way. So we're kind of getting closer to the water. What I'd also like to do is have a second type of wood. So let's do that. Like different color. That way it's kind of a little pretty. Plum tree, huh? Cherry tree. It looks like we have a lot of cherry trees. We do have these massive ginkgo trees. Ginkgo? I'm not sure. There's a tree trunk right here. Interesting. What else do we have? We have peach. A lot of fruit trees. All right, let's do the ginkgo. Ginkgo, whatever. Any other big ones? Here's these guys too. Okay, that should be enough there. We'll make a second stockpile. Looks good. This will be ginkgo? Not even sure. Ginkgo, yep. Ginkgo. Oops. Stop. There we go. Okay. And then we'll make a second workshop here. This one I don't really care too much what it's made out of. It's just temporary. This is going to be our birch workshop. And we're going to tell it to only take from the birch. Bada bing, bada boom. And then this guy is going to be our ginkgo. Ginkgo. Not even sure I'm saying it right. Ginkgo workshop. There we go. Cool. Now we have two different kinds. We're going to see why I like doing this. We're going to wait till these guys cut this stuff down, and then we'll start building here. So the first thing I'd like to do is make a dormitory. That way they have a place to sleep. Dwarves especially don't want to be sleeping outside and when it's raining. No bueno. Looking good. Okay. We'll build kind of close here. It's going to be tiny. It's going to be tiny. So we're going to build a floor. Like I said, we're role playing. So if I was building a new place for these guys, they're not going to be sleeping on grass and things like that. They're going to be sleeping on hardwood. And actually, what I want to do, before I forget, we're going to make a little stockpile right here. And this is going to be where the blocks are, wooden blocks, building materials. We want bars and blocks, and just wood. That way they can put stuff in here. We don't care what they're putting in there, since we know it'll only be these two. And then let's make some bins. And then what I would like to do is make this on repeat. We're going to need a lot of blocks. And blocks are better to use for building because you get more blocks out of a log. You get more blocks from a log, so that way you can use more blocks. Because one like floor piece is one log or one block. So I think it's like 3 or 4 blocks you get per log. But anyway, it's better. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're starting off with some bins. That way they can put the blocks in here and they're not just all individually placed in the stockpile. We do have some chestnut. We'll move those when we need to. They are a little bit darker, which I might use since we have some. Could always put another workshop here and have some chestnut logs. Okay, they're making it. So like I said, there's only going to be about 20 or so people in the beginning here. I would like to get a nice little tight settlement going. And then once I feel a little bit more established, I think that's when we'll open up the border, so to speak. Okay. Cool. Okay, nice. Alrighty, so let's do some construction here. I don't know if we even have enough, but we're not going to make the dormitory too big. So we're going to select it. And it's going to be only this big. Yeah. So this is the floor. But we need 8. Let's see. So we can use either one. I think we'll use the ginkgo. Perfect. Now to make some walls. We'll do the birchen. I don't know if we have enough. Oh yeah, 5. Ooh. Birchen. And then I do like to make the floor here this. I also like it to put the floor where the door is going to be. Can go. All right, so let's get that going. So pretty much cannot find path. Oh, I think they're trying to walk where these guys are making the walls. We'll just resume. Yeah. Things are just getting in the way. They want to be where the walls are, but people are making walls. No matter. And actually, you know what? I think I am going to have another stockpile here of the chestnut. It's going to be a little bit darker brown, I think, but I'm kind of curious. Stock. Nope. Wood. Oh, wait. None. And chestnut. Okay. And then we'll make another workshop here. Probably should have started with more carpenters, but like I said, everybody's going to be kind of helping. They'll gain up their skills. And just to make it the same, well, I guess this is chestnut, isn't it? Yeah. So it looks like a more brown, while the birch is more of a like red brown, I guess. Kind of interesting. So with that, we're gonna make some beds. We're gonna make 4. Should be enough. Uh-oh. People are fighting. Not good. Why are we fighting already? The weasel's fighting, the alligator's fighting, the kangaroo doe. Where's our dog at? What are they doing? What are you guys doing? Our hunter's not hunting. Oh, he might be hunting. Who's hurt? Who's doing stuff? Healthy? Oh, it's just easier to see all these guys. You? Frail, clumsy, strong, healthy. You? Overexerted. Must be this one. Yeah. Oh! They actually got it. Interesting. I would prefer if you guys just stayed together. He must be hurting. What is he doing? Okay, he's walking around now. I don't know where he went. Interesting, though. It looks like the dog's over there somewhere. Okay, so what we could do... So this is what I was talking about with, like, the diagnosing. I don't know if they can diagnose the animals, but let's just see. So what we're going to do is make a really poor hospital. So what it is... Oh, it's... yeah, it's a zone meeting area. We'll just do it right here. And then we'll convert it into a hospital. Hospital. Okay. Oops. And then what we want to do, you need to assign a chief medical dwarf. Okay. Nobles, chief medical dwarf, Mr. Farmer guy who has the diagnose skill. And now I'm only going to make it citizens only. Okay, we'll see what happens. Last time I was playing this, trying to get a good feel of Dwarf Fortress again, someone got attacked by a snapping turtle. He just ended up getting wounds on his neck and he was bleeding, but they sutured them up with some thread. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if you can do this to dogs and stuff. It says he's healthy. Seems like she might be okay. Not sure. We'll kind of keep that there. Okay, so they're done building this. They probably got the beds going on here. Looks like they're still trying to make another one. So one thing, you'd think you'd start placing some beds. But guess what? We're building outdoors. We're building up instead of down. There's not a floor above us, so we can't even place this bed because it must be inside. So they need to build a ceiling. So that's why this is a little bit trickier, but I don't mind. Okay, so what we're going to do, is we're going to do constructions. I make a little ramp on the side here. Doesn't matter what it's made out of. We're going to deconstruct it anyway. And then they're going to climb up here, and then we're going to build a roof. I think we're going to do, so let's do, oh, these are all birchen. I see. That's good. I'm glad that I forgot to do this. So take items from here. Done. That's fine. I like that they're all the same though. Okay. And I think we're going to also, that's something with DF hack. We're not going to mess with that. I think we're going to make some bins. And then repeat the blocks. Okay. All right, so now we have a ramp. They have access to the second floor here. So let's make a ceiling, so to speak. Then we're going to make it out of course, this brown stuff. The birch. What? Is the tree in the way? Is this in the way? I think the tree's in the way. Let's see. Someone's become a carpenter. I bet they have. Let's chop this tree down. Hopefully no one gets hit. Make it a little higher priority. I wonder if I think our dwarf who's making stuff here. Pause it. Yeah. The person who's can cut wood was the one making the blocks, and so she was stuck there. Okay, so now I think we can go on top here. I'm confused. This should be working. Lower. No access to 2 building. Why? This is a ramp. Upward slope. Let's try again, maybe? Yeah, see, this is a floor. This is open space. We can kind of see it. There we go. Weird. I wonder if the tree had something to do with it. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's make it out of the birchen, so that way it's one color. Fill in the little gap here. There we go. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. See, they're using the ramp to get up there. I don't know. That's weird. Must have been a little bug. What's going on? Oops. How did I turn that on? R. So R will show you the slope if it's going down or up. I think you can turn it on and off right here too. Yeah. Okay. So now we have that. So let's make some beds. We'll just use closest material since we know we only have 4. Now I do need to make a door. Then we can deconstruct the ramp here. Again, we're kind of role playing, right? We're not going to leave construction on a fully built building. We're just going to get rid of it. We done with the door? We're done with the door. There we go. So now let's zone it. So we want a dormitory. We'll accept it. We'll just call it the simple dorm. There we go. They have a place to sleep. So now, our next thing that we need to be doing, so they're going to keep making wood blocks and stuff like that, which is great. I'll probably keep telling them to make wooden bins. They're going to need a lot. There's a lot of spaces here. We have everybody helping. This will be done in no time. Okay. So we got that. Let's cut down, I think, so what do we got here? I love that the kangaroo is just dying, or dead there. Got some more birch. Let's kind of cut the stuff that we want around here. Birch. They're picking some stuff up there. Birch. A lot of birch. Need some more chestnut. Ginkgo. It'll keep them busy. Busy dwarves are happy dwarves. Right? All right. So another thing I'd like to do is make a drawbridge right here, just in case our trade caravan people are coming on this side. I don't know how it works, if they're always going to spawn in a correct space, but just in case we need to, we can actually just do it here at the peak. So let's do that. Plus, it's really easy to make anyway. So what we'd like to do, bridge. Now, I'm always confused by this thing. It probably makes sense if you actually look at it, but what I like to do is just look at the image. So it looks like we're going to do this because the gears are in the back. And we'll just do it, what, 4 wide? And like that. Bam. I don't care what it's made out of, really. Whatever's closest, that way it's easier for them to build. All right, so the second thing that we need to be building is probably a place for them to eat and drink, since that's like their favorite thing to do. Let's get that started. So a place to eat. Let's see here. I'm trying to think about how I always like to try to make it interesting, not just rectangles all the time. Let's do this. So one thing to consider with a tavern, they do like to have a place to dance and stuff, especially if it grows into a tavern rather than just like a dining hall. But from my understanding, they need a minimum 5x5 area of empty space. So I always like to consider that just in case. Same thing with temples. They like to dance and sing and stuff in there. And they also need 5x5. And also some dances, I think, need 10x10. We're not going to do it that. That's pretty big. But we're going to do... Yeah, I think we're going to kind of like string it along here. So let's see. What was I making? We'll do the floor. That way we can kind of do the inside first. And then that way we know where the walls are going to be. Let's do... We do... Kind of wish this square I could like move it around a little bit easier. No, we're going to do it like down here more. All right, so we're gonna make this a little bit different. What do we have the most of? So we have about even amount of birchen and ginkgo. Let's make this the birchen floor. What I'll do here. Is that tree in the way? Birchen blocks. Yeah. It's gonna be tight quarters. I do want to make this like a little compound, like just like a little village. Surrounded by a moat. And again, try to make this like a little bit more interesting. So we're gonna, here, let's just start doing this. Cut that guy down. Looks like they're the ones making the bridge. They should be done pretty soon. I think everybody's gathering wood and stuff. Got quite a bit of bins. I just, whoops, haven't used them yet. All right, cut this down. Oh, okay. Mincott Fashkid is our leader. Turned into our leader. Which one is that? Looks like our axe person. Nice. All right, let's do cover up that floor here. And we can use the last material. Makes this a little bit easier. Okay, so that's going to be kind of our dance floor area. And then what we'll have, like a little dining area here. Yeah. Gonna be a little bit smaller. What am I thinking? Could do this. So what it is what I'm thinking in my head is a head. They need a table and a chair, and they do not share. Do not put more than one chair at a table. So I'm trying to think of what, they don't need a lot of space, but there's going to be at least 20 dwarves here. And I like to future-proof it a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And I do like things being kind of symmetrical. Yeah, that actually would... Let's do this. Maybe one more. How much space do we have here? That's good. Okay. Now it's kind of turning into a shape, but we're going to be adding on something right here, I think. And then we're probably going to do something right here too. What I'm thinking is we'll have a little space for them to go into to grab like the beer and food, the meals. That way they can go in here and eat. What I'm thinking about building right here is going to be their actual bedrooms. But for now, let's start constructing stuff. Let's just start doing this. They'll construct the floor. That way they're not getting in their way. What's going on? Not reach site. Probably because this log's in the way. So let's do this. So to get rid of this stuff, to get it out of the way, since I'm not using it right now, we can dump it. And that is a zone, right? Yep, garbage dump. And we can just have it come over here where we're not really doing anything. Okay, garbage dump, perfect. And then what we want to do is mark it as dump. What is it? Designate an item for dumping. We just want these logs. Get them out of the way. Now these are chestnut logs, so hopefully they'll grab them. We should be good with that. So let's do that. Now one thing is they won't grab this stuff right away. What you actually have to do is turn on work orders, or not work orders, sorry. Tasks? What is it? Okay, labor, standing orders, and then we want chores. Let's see, refuse and dumping. So one thing is they're ignoring outdoor dumping. We actually want to turn this on. Gather outdoor refuse. I cannot say that word for the life of me. But we can at least ignore these outdoor vermin remains for now. So normally you'd want to dump stuff in your fortress inside somewhere. Since we're building outside and the logs are considered outside, they're not going to be gathering it. So I think this way they'll start grabbing it. It's just not a super high priority right now. Oh, I didn't see that either. Okay. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see if it does. Not sure what the rest of the dwarves are doing. Looks like they're sleeping. Hopefully we'll get some migrants soon. kids are good at hauling. All right, let's get rid of this. We don't need a hospital anymore. This also gives me a chance for them to keep making wooden blocks. All right, anybody move stuff yet? No? Okay. I think it's like one of the lowest priorities, if I had to guess. Not like bothering anybody, so they'd rather be building. Now, I'm probably not going to build too much closer to the water here, unless we're going to use that part of our moats. So that might be a good idea, is essentially creating around here, and then we'll just kind of create a moat circling around here. You know, we'll see how big we want to do it. So I'll probably build kind of more to the right, and maybe a little bit more down too. But not too much bigger. Not too much bigger. You guys will see what I have in mind. Because one thing with the building here, we can still build on top. We don't have to keep everything one single floor here. Doors might like to live underground, but they are pretty dang good. Did they toss the freaking... Oh no, this is the corpses rotting. Okay. But they're pretty good at constructing things. Okay, so we're done there. I don't know why this is not happening. Looks like the dwarves are all still gathering stuff. Let's see something. Hauling, maybe? Maybe it's hauling? Labor. Should be working. Can't make it a higher priority. Oh well. I guess we'll see when we see it. All right. So let's start making a wall here. What are we going to make this out of? Looks like we have a lot of ginkgo. Got a lot of chestnut. Could just do like a pretty brown area here. I don't mind that. Chestnut. Use some of the chestnut. Again, don't mind the shape too much. We're going to be adding on to this little guy here. You guys will see. We'll have some couple entrances. Maybe like one there. Again, don't mind the shape. Unfortunately, when you can build in squares, there isn't really much I could do about that. But I think having an entryway right here, right here. Yeah. Actually, let's do that. You guys will see what I'm doing when I get it done. right here would be good. Not too worried about it. Again, there's going to be entry here, here. This is going to be where like a little cellar is. Not a cellar, but a place, a storage for drink and food. And then over here will actually be our bedrooms. I'm going to create this like little space that kind of goes up here. And then of course we want to make sure we get our floor. Urchin. Actually, this is going to be something else. Let's do our floor here. What am I doing? Floor. And then this is going to be the ginkgo. So that way we can kind of see it differently. Yeah. Maybe I do want this a little bit away from here. Let's do this. Yeah, we are going to do it right there. You guys will see why. Not the walls. I want the floors. Okay. We want ginkgo. That should be big enough. We don't need it too big. This was chestnut. Oh, I wonder if have I been clicking any of these? Hopefully not. Okay. Looking good so far. Can go. Yes. All right. See what happens. Hopefully I wasn't messing that up too much. So essentially what's going to be is our little dance floor, little dining area. This area is going to be where the food and drink is stored. So that way when they come out of their bedrooms, they can immediately come over here, grab some stuff and start eating. Up here, I'm going to start designing a farm area and kind of our food industry. That way it's still kind of connected to our dining hall. It's not too far away. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Let's see something. Kind of wish we had more people. Gather refuse. Let's gather it. You know what? See what happens. I don't think there's going to be too many dead animals. It's usually where the cats are going. The cats just kind of wander around. Of course, it looks like he's wanting a... Oh, he just attacked a toad. Oh, is that another kangaroo? Boy. Wait, what? Yeah, thought that said dog. It said doe. But as you can see, our shape of the building isn't turning into what you guys probably thought it was going to be. That's pretty cool. Looks like we need about 5 doors. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so everything's looking pretty nice, right? That's why we're using the same wood. Things are all kind of the same color. Makes it kind of pleasing to the eye. Otherwise, they're using like mixed wood, and it just kind of looks like a polka dot graffiti kaleidoscope of colors. You might like that. It's totally fine. I'm not saying you don't need to, but this is what I like. I like a little bit more organization. Kind of why I like playing Dwarf Fortress. All right. Well, we're going to end it here. They're going to start developing stuff. The next time you guys see in the next episode, they'll be finished, and then we start working on the next thing. So again, if you're new to the series, welcome. Thanks for watching. If you're a veteran, I appreciate you putting up with my nonsense. Like I said, if there's anything you want to add in the comments below, feel free. Everybody plays this game a little differently. Again, this is more of a casual playthrough, not to be optimized at all, just to have a little bit of fun and to kind of get the ball rolling on an above ground fortress. So I'm Nathan. Think about joining us as a junior designer today. Thank you so much for joining me on this Dwarven adventure, and I will see you